people are going to be like, your stream quality sucks. Well, for streaming, this is the best I could do. So I'm sorry. Let's see if people actually show up, though. Am I going to be all alone? Da, da, da. I'm gonna look. Videos. I guess I am just hanging out by my lonesome, eh? Oh, and I just noticed Jaylena's live, so I guess if we have any overlap audience, I'm conflicting with that. Hi, okay, we got somebody here. People are starting to show up. So normally, I've been trying to go live on Wednesdays, but on Wednesday, I'm going to have the video that I didn't post on Sunday, hopefully. So I was just like, I'll go live today, and then Wednesday will be the video that I'm trying to catch up on instead of a live. So yeah, there's that. Here and accounted for, Baltimore, totally different time zone. How are people doing on this lovely day? This is super cash. Also, you see the light that I installed right by my bed? I know my bed looks a mess. I promise. I do have bed sheets. They are in storage to protect them. Sorry, I'm getting a weird... Oh, it might be because the door is open. I was like, why is the light surging every once in a while? I think it's because that door is open, so it's bringing in, like, a weird light. I don't think it's the window. Let me close the door a little bit and see what happens. Don't look at my booty. Let's see if that helps with that light surge problem. All right, we got Ohio in the house. D. Huffman says, hey girl, how are you? I'm pretty good considering. Mostly good. Nothing to complain about. Big Cat 624, I'm glad that you got to catch me live. Jacqueline Nelson, hello. I'm glad you like our home. Mickey is in his bubble. He likes to sleep in there. You see him back there? We got Chicago in the house. Sheila. Debbie, you're like watching me and Jelena at the same time. Yeah, closing that door seemed to help with the surge. With the surge! Alright, so we got a good amount of people in here. I don't really have anything set up to talk about, except that, like I said, usually I'm trying to designate Wednesdays as a day to go live. And I'm shifting things around this week just to catch up on a few videos that I'm trying to catch up on. So I was like, I'll go live today. I'm trying to actually set myself goals for a schedule. But you guys don't even know about the schedule. This is like a personal thing that I've set for myself. It's no promise I've made to anybody else yet. So that's been a thing. Big Cat, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. She says, I love what you were doing with the van. Melody 1960 says, I think your home is fabulous and is only going to get homier. Thank you so much. Unapologetically Me says, water shortage in California, how has it affected you? I mean, not much because like I go to a water dispenser that I pay for and that always seems to have water. So I don't know how much it affects how I acquire my water. Like mostly I'm buying my water right now from a water dispenser. Um so honestly not much. Maybe because I don't live in a house. Um Big Cat 624. On my title, it is titled as a van. Technically, the cab of this is a commercial van. It's actually not a commercial truck. Like the style of vehicle it is called a box truck, but it literally says Ford E350 van on my title. So you're not incorrect. If it makes you feel any better. Kimberly Knight, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Car camping on Lake Winnebago. I wish I was at the lake with you. With any luck, I will be ready to take on the road at least a little bit. Finances willing in the next couple of weeks. My big goal is to get out of the storage unit, and I am very close to not needing it to continue to do the things I want to do. I have like a list of things, which is longer than I expected it to be, that need to be done, but none of them are, maybe like 3 of them are critical to me keeping the storage unit. And then once those are done, I should be able to move out. And then it's just little stuff I can do wherever as long as I have all my stuff with me. So my big stretch goal in the next couple of weeks is just getting out of the storage unit so I don't have that bill anymore. I don't have a storage unit anymore, and I'm kind of fully back in the truck with my belongings nowhere else except with me. If it can't be with me, it needs to go into the trash, get donated, or get sold. And that's the deal. I do not keep storage units for the long stretch. One of the goals of having this was to more comfortably be able to have all the things that I need. So yeah. Deborah Jackson says, you lost so much weight. Thank you. Martine, thank you for that. Is that a Canadian $10? Thank you. I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm like CA $, so I assume that's Canadian $10. Tina the Outsider said, hello, Dawn. I'm at the Schoolie 2021 meetup in the Upper Peninsula in Michigan, Michigan, right? I wish I was there with you. I actually want to go to some Schoolie events because honestly, some of the best ideas I've seen have come from Schoolies, even though I'm not in a Schoolie. There's a lot of similarities between like just a lot of the things surrounding like Schoolie and the box truck. Just because of the class of vehicle that they come from. So I would love to go to like more Schoolie events, even though I'd be the odd man out because I'm not a Schoolie. Deborah Jackson says, I sold my house. Everything is in storage while I look for a vehicle home. Oh, wow. That's a big jump. I wish you luck on finding the right one. Sheila McCoy says, is Mickey still spurning the cat hammock? And for reference, the cat hammock is this thing right here. And yes, he is, but also, let me put the camera down. When I fiddled around with it, it didn't seem very secure to me either. Like, it felt like it was loose. So I took the whole thing down. I tightened everything up. Now, this is something I bought, not something I made. And, I tightened everything up and then I put it back. And honestly, it quickly felt really loose to me again. So I think like the construction is just bad. And I don't know if it's like the rhythm of the truck or whatever. But I think Mickey is smarter than me and he knows it's not stable. And so he does not want to put his whole weight on it. And so I just don't think it's a good idea. And I might just give him another shelf. Because he likes his, like, people were saying that it's super high. He will sleep up on top of that cabinet, which is closer to the ceiling than this is. So I think honestly he'd be happier. Let me settle the camera with just another shelf. Like if there was just another middle shelf. I mean honestly he can jump between them without a middle shelf. But since I already have something there, I think I'd rather just replace it with something that's a hard surface. Like if he wants a soft surface, he sleeps in my bed. So it's not that big of a deal that it's something that's a soft surface. D. Huffman says, my New York storage fees could pay rent on an apartment. It's been so long. I have been there, D. Yes, it was fun to cross the country for fun, but half the reason I went back, more than half the reason I went back to Maryland and then came back to California was to get rid of a storage unit I'd had in Maryland way too long. And if I could have all the money that was spent on that storage unit while I was living in California back in my pocket, I could make some nice upgrades to this truck. Believe you me. I feel like storage units in the long stretch, unless I have a short-term goal for a storage unit, if it sits in a storage unit more than a few months and you don't look at it or touch it, I'm going to start questioning if I really need it. And just let it go. Let it go. What is? Sorry, I'm trying to look at this. Number one. Oh, Martine, thank you for the super sticker. It's so cute. And thank you for the $5 Canadian. Patricia says, your motivation and energy are inspiring. Your home looks great. Hugs to Mickey. Dorothy says, you've made wonderful progress on your home. Thank you. High Tower My Journey says, City Van Life in OKC here. Solidarity. Dorothy says, kitties love the highest perch. Yes. I mean, he's using, if anything's high enough and there's enough space, he will at least try it. He might be like, I don't want to stay here, but I will use it to know that I can land here. Unless he doesn't feel secure, then he won't do it. Pikachu t-shirt, yes. D. Huffman, thank you for the reminder. The thumbs up to support the channel. So anybody have any questions they want to shoot out at me? Because like I said, this is totally casual. I'm just going to jump on a live because I won't be able to go live later this week. So, yeah. Nia Williams, William, no S. Are you still in the Bay Area? Yes, because I still have stuff in the storage unit. I will not leave the Bay Area with a storage unit that I'm paying for. I said it earlier in the live stream, but basically in the next couple of weeks, I am trying to wrap up any need for a storage unit, empty out the storage unit, close the storage unit. Like I said, it either needs to be in the box truck, it needs to go in the trash, or it needs to get donated. But I don't keep storage units. I only got one because I needed it to do this build. And I want to get to the point where I don't have any need to have things in a storage unit anymore and be able to actually leave the area. But right now I'm still tied to it because I'm still doing things in the build where I need access to things that are in my storage unit. Yeah. Patricia Danko, thank you for the $10 super chat and the super adorable super sticker. High Tower My Journey says, do you still use a generator? Well, I don't have my propane generator. It died, and I sent it to Home Depot for repair. And it has to do with the manufacturer and that being the designated service center, and it's basically a long story I covered in some other videos. But the only reason I'm not using it, I'm not using the Baja propane generator, is because that one died. Now I do have an update on the generator, but I'll be covering that in an upcoming video on my generator situation. Do I still think I need a generator? Absolutely. Vanlife Shirt says, hi Dawn, do you still walk Mickey? Mickey does not go on daily walks. Some of that has been the build, some of that has been the show. So not as much as he used to. And also, like, a Mickey walk is weird. It's not like a real walk. Like, it's not like walking a dog. Like, I put the harness on him, and, you know, he may walk around in a circle and, like, examine a tree for an hour and then be done and then want to go back to the truck. So it's not really anything where there's never been a lot of walking involved. Now, sometimes what I'll do is I'll pick him up, I'll walk far enough from the truck that he'll, like, explore a little bit, but then usually he gets frustrated after a little bit. So he's never been like a long walker. Like, I had this fantasy of having a hiking cat, and that's not gonna happen. Like, he's not interested. So yeah, that's the simple answer. I would like to start getting him outside again more though, because I think he's becoming more of a homebody. And a lot of that is also about being in a place where I'm not in this intense build process anymore. Because I also want to get out and walk more. I want to exercise more. Like, so much of my healthy routine fell off, and it had to, because I had to make space to get my house done. But I want to get to a place where the house is done and I can actually get back to some of the healthy routines for both of us, for me and Mickey. Because yes, they've been flushed down the toilet, because I was like, I'm not going to get this house done unless I make it a high priority over everything else. And the reward is, like, once I get done, then I'll be able to go back to those routines with the resources that I need. And it's been hard because I was fighting really hard to do everything at first, and then I realized it was too much, and I had to reasonably approach what I could do as an individual in my situation. So yeah, that's another thing. That's part of getting rid of the storage unit. That's part of being in a place to leave this area, is a chance to get back to some of those healthy routines that I've lost. And I will be honest and say I've probably gained weight in the last month. Now, I haven't gained back all that I've lost, but I wouldn't be surprised I haven't stepped on a scale in a while, but I wouldn't be surprised if I gained at least 10 pounds back. I'm not as big as I was, but I've definitely gained weight back. I know that. Yeah. Tina said, when are you going to do a Zoom with Patreon again? Miss ya. I want to do a Zoom, but honestly, the answer is once I'm out of that storage unit. That's the real answer. Like, I can start getting back to a lot of things. Like, when I'm in a place to comfortably leave that storage unit and feel like I am moved back in here entirely, and I'm not holding on to the storage unit to hold things for these big projects, I'm going to be in a better place to get back to some of the things that I've lost, sort of in getting drowned by the build. And hopefully it'll be worth it, you know? Yeah. Spanish con Migo? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right and I'm not butchering it. It says, I'm converting a schoolie. I'm happy for your progress. Schoolies rock. You know, have fun with the process. It's going to be frustrating at times, but have fun with the process. Neil Williams says, do you enjoy William? I want your name to have an S, and it says Neil William. Do you enjoy being alone? I think my last video answered that. I'm pretty chill alone. Like I'm an introvert. Like, I don't need people a whole lot to entertain myself. I enjoy all the company of a whole bunch of people, but it's like not something I need or something I seek out. I'm good mostly. Yeah. Jacqueline says, I would like to join the Patreon, so how can I do that? There is a link to Patreon at the end of most of my videos. Now, YouTube memberships also get access to everything that Patreon gets access to. So there's also that. Both options work. But Patreon, do I have a link in the description of the video? I always have a link at the end of the video. I actually need to check my description and see if the Patreon link is there, because I've always just left it at the end of all of my videos, not the lives. But like my regular videos, there's usually a link at the end. Uh, Bryant Kahar, are you gonna get a second stool for guests? I've thought about it, but what I'm doing now actually works. Like right now, I'm sitting on the fridge, and whenever I've had company, I've let them sit on the stool. And I don't want it to get like super crowded in here. Like my whole goal is as much of an open floor plan as possible. So right now, I feel like I could have a meal with company and just sit on the fridge, as opposed to putting another chair in here that's going to take up space. So yeah, because my whole thing is like I love being able to preserve as much floor space as possible. Like I don't want to feel overcrowded by like cabinets and all these other structures. I want it to stay very open. That's why my bed is in the air. That's what, and not on the floor. It's so that I can have this open space inside the box truck. And so I want to preserve that. So if I don't need a second chair and it's easy for me to like sit with another person on the fridge, which has been comfortable so far, I don't really see the need for another bar stool. I was thinking about two originally, and I was like, I don't think I need it. Yeah. Patty asks, where do you find to park, stay overnight in the Bay Area? Do they hassle you there? Question mark. Obviously, I'm not going to be specifics. I'm not going to say on the corner of this and that. But honestly, my parking is entirely random. Right now, I will say I park a lot near where my storage unit is. I don't tend to park where quote unquote van life is. Now, if I am traveling, I will use apps like iOverlander to sort of find places to park. I have had knocks, a few of them at this point. Not a whole lot. Like I don't get knocks every other day or anything like that. But I've lost track. But maybe in 3 years, I've had like, I don't know, 5 to 8 knocks. I definitely have stories, and none of them are bad. Usually when I've gotten a knock, I've been in a shopping center parking lot. In fact, I think that's the only place. It's been like 2 Walmarts where they didn't allow overnight parking. One of them was while I was crossing the country. Another one was in California. And there aren't that many Walmarts in the Bay Area at all. But this one specifically, it wasn't an all-night Walmart. It wasn't a super center. And I will never even try to sleep in that area again. But it wasn't even a bad thing. It's like, oh crap, I already know what's coming. I go to the window, we talk, and they're like, you can't stay here. And I'll like apologize. And more than once, at least 3 or 4 times, after a polite conversation, I've been given a place where I can go to park. I was like, I can't let you park here because management, blah, 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 blah. But if you go such and such, you can park there. A lot of times I prefer parking on the street. And really that's just about observation. Like outside of places where there are shopping centers, but it's street parking, for example, you can park on the street there as long as you're not violating any kind of parking laws, i.e. time restrictions, height restrictions, etc., etc. And there aren't as many as, like, there's one street where, like, there's a height restriction here, you turn the corner and there's not. And I have pulled into that spot at least, or that street, at least 3 or 4 times and been fine. And the big thing with city parking to me is your day spot is never your night spot. Your night spot is not your day spot. Where you hang out during the day, if you have to be in your vehicle all day and you're not going to a job, is where you won't be at night. Where you are at night is where you won't be during the day. And just respecting those rules and parking legally, just paying attention to signs and parking legally, I've mostly not had a problem. So I wouldn't say I was ever harassed. I was asked to leave a parking lot where I had no business being anyway. Parking lots are private property. People can ask you to leave them. And if my experience has been when I politely leave, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I don't like it. Nobody likes being woken up in the middle of the night. But a polite conversation usually is all that happens. That's all that's ever happened. Yeah. Holly H says, "Hi Dawn, where are you planning to go when you get ready to leave?" It depends. So I don't want to make huge declarations yet. Um, but I want to just be in a position to leave. So that's more of my concern. um, B Diva 101 says, "Do you have emergency food rations?" Not really. I mean, what do you mean by emergency? Do I have food that doesn't have to be refrigerated? I mean, to me, just like, what do I need but beyond like some extra canned goods or something that doesn't require refrigeration? Because the biggest risk are things that need to be refrigerated because you run out of power, stuff like that. As long as you can like have food that can be consumed without cooking it, which could be as simple as some fruits and vegetables, because not every fruit and vegetable needs to be refrigerated. And like, I don't know, some stuff is like canned goods are always gonna be a good thing to have knocking around. But I don't really consider it emergency food rations. It's just food, non-refrigerated food or things that don't perish quickly. Like apples tend to hold up really, really well, unlike bananas, which like die a day after you get them. Bananas are always annoying. In fact, I have some bananas over there I need to get rid of or put in a smoothie or do something with. But yeah, I don't have anything like that's designated like emergency rations or anything like that. Earl Blackman says, "Have you thought of getting a generator that have a remote start?" Those things cost more than I can throw into a generator right now. Honest answer. Patricia Danko, thank you for the $10 super chat and the super cool glasses. D. Huffman, thank you for dropping the Patreon link in the chat. Rebecca, Dawn, today is my birthday. Happy birthday, Rebecca! I hope it's a good one. D. Huffman asks, "What's for dinner?" I'm actually not hungry. To be honest, I had kind of a heavy lunch. Which was this like veggie pizza thing. And I honestly don't even feel hungry now. I think I could probably just not eat tonight and it'd be great. Martine asks, "Will you come to Canada in August? The border is open August 9th, I believe, but not for us." Wait, so I can go there, but you guys can't come here? Well, that sucks for you guys. I don't know if I'll make it to Canada in August, but this year is possible before the year is over. I'm loving all the happy birthdays to Rebecca in the chat. Sherry says, "If it's not too personal, how much and what kind of insurance do you have on the van truck?" I have commercial insurance right now, and it's temporary because I need to get the DMV to convert it over to an RV, which I'll probably talk more about at the top of August, probably. There was a hiccup. It's not a big deal. It just has to do with offices there that are closed and that I had to make appointments for. Yeah. To keep it simple, there's a sticker that's not on this truck, and so I need to go. I had to make this appointment to get this thing called a VIN verification, and hopefully once I get that, I'll be able to convert everything over. So right now I just have commercial insurance on it. Doormather says, Dawn, are you going to be painting the outside of your truck? Yes, there's a lot of stuff I want to do to the outside of the truck, but the outside of the truck not being ideal is not stopping me from living in it. So that's sort of where my priority has to stay. Anything I want to do outside at this point is aesthetic. It's not necessary to my survival, or my comfort in living in here. And so this stuff is more important, both for finances and just general time. Yes, I want the outside to look better, but the outside looking better isn't affecting me living on a daily basis. Me sleeping on the floor was affecting me living on a daily basis. Me not having storage for my stuff was affecting me on a daily basis. So it's just one of those things that when and if it happens down the road, it'll happen down the road, but it's not important to me being able to move on to the most important next steps, which is being able to like fully live in here. So yeah, I have to prioritize things that way. Also, I've gone back and forth on what I would do if I painted the outside. There's some painting I want to do just for a cleaner look, but long term, I'd also like to do something interesting on the outside. It's just not a priority right now. Lois says, Dawn, I'm happy for your progress on the build. Thank you. Deborah, thank you for the You Are Amazing sticker and the $20 super chat. Geek Bacon, thank you for the How's It Going sticker. It's going great. And the $4.99 super chat. And Sadie Sherman, thank you for the $2 and the hit the like button, folks. Reminder. Wow, there's just like a whole hit of super chats right there. Thank you for my moderators throwing those links in the description and reminding people to hit that thumbs up. Thanking some of my super chats for me while I'm slowly going through the chat. Melissa Peck says, absolutely love your resilience and determination. Some positive energy to you and your home. Thank you so much. Earl Blackman says, how is the battery running your refrigerator? The Jackery 1500 is running the fridge and the freezer fine. To be quite honest. There's been like no major changes. Yeah, it's doing fine. Sheila McCoy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you. Happy to support, she says, and I thank you for your support. Sherry says, hello, I'm glad I didn't miss your live. I'm glad you didn't miss it either. Tina's reminding everybody that posted the Patreon link twice in the chat. Thank you for keeping up with that, Tina. Earl Blackman says, how is your power usage holding up? My biggest power draw, honestly, the biggest problem is my laptop. And I saw my friend Emily the other day, and she's building out a van, and she said when she was doing her power calculations, because she was intending to work on the road, that the laptop is just acts a lot. And God forbid you also want to have like a monitor and all this stuff. And yes, I can charge the laptop, but I have never finished an editing session on a charged battery. I've always had to plug in while I was editing. And so like the biggest power draw that I have, that's a problem, is my laptop. It's not the fridge. It's not the freezer. It's not lighting in here. It's the laptop. And so that just means I have to be very specific about what time of day I'm using that laptop. And sort of what kind of power I have to get through an editing session. So that's how that is. Shay is in the chat. I just saw, I'm assuming this is a reply of where to park. Shay said hospitals. I just stayed in the hospital parking lot, and it was the most peaceful night I ever had. Honestly, I dropped a friend off, and I was like, this hospital parking lot, I could probably get away with sleeping here and not have to drive 45 minutes back to where the storage unit was and just go back in the morning. And so I pulled in. It had like 3 cars in the lot. I parked towards the back, not disturbed all night. It was like super quiet. Oh my goodness. It was like one of the best like nights as far as like quiet I had had. But Shay also mentions apartments and hotels, motels without roving security. For hotels and motels, I find you're looking for somebody in that low B to C tier. Their lot needs to be big enough that it doesn't seem like you're going to be taking too much away from their guests. So yeah, you just have to be observant. So yeah, I agree with those. And apartments, if you can find street parking outside an apartment, if there's an apartment lot, I try not to go in it, because my experience with apartments is most of the time, you know, the parking gets abused in apartments all the time, just with apartments having multiple people and the apartment being designed for there to be like one spot per apartment. But in modern times, we know a lot of people can't afford to live alone. So there's like 2 or 3 people in an apartment, or there's a husband and wife, or a boyfriend and girlfriend, or a mom and a teenage kid, or a dad and a teenage kid, or any kind of arrangement like that where 2 or more people may have cars. So for apartments, you're looking for the kind of apartments that have street parking around them, because there's going to be a lot of cars, and a lot of cars that come and go. And we haven't even covered visitors to apartments. So with apartments, I usually look for parking, that street parking outside of that apartment's lot, if they have a lot at all. But also any sort of street where it's just a strip mall of businesses. Not a strip mall, but like there's just businesses on that street. Like it isn't really residential, but the parking isn't like restricted overnight. That's a great place to park. Like I park places like that all the time. And I prefer street parking, because honestly, I have never gotten a knock street parking. I just pay attention to signs and park where it's legal. Okay. Melissa Peck, a thumbs up supports the chat. You know, if you can do that, that supports a lot. Uh-oh, I'm seeing deleted messages. That means we got some jerks up in the chat. Thank you for being on it. Shay, the reason I don't have a wish list, the reason I do not have an Amazon wish list, I had one when I first started the box truck. It's because I need to control the amount of packages that come through my mailbox. And what I found with the Amazon wish list is things quickly got out of control, to the point like it can attract attention, because it's not a house. It's a personal mailbox that I specifically got for mail, and I specifically got a small box. I didn't get a large box. So literally no packages can fit in my box. Now, she should have at this point enforced me having to buy a larger box, and so far she hasn't. I just get a little slip in the box. I did explain that I have a YouTube channel. I didn't get into too much detail about it, because there's certain things I like to keep separate. Like I didn't give her a card or tell her to go watch the channel. I did explain I have a YouTube channel. And sometimes people send me things that I didn't order. Just so she knows it's not me personally sending too many packages there. And so I pulled the wish list early into having the box truck, just to sort of cut down on that and keep control. I always say, like, honestly, the best thing you can do is send me a gift card for Amazon or Home Depot or Lowe's or gas. Like those, anything in those 4 categories will get used. You know, if you really want to send a gift, or Petco. If you want to get Mickey something, send me a Petco PetSmart gift card. You know, Petco or PetSmart for Mickey. Gas gift cards, probably almost anyone will do. I'm sure I'll find the gas station. Amazon gift cards, Lowe's gift cards, especially early in the build. I got a lot of Lowe's gift cards and they were really, really useful. And Home Depot gift cards, like those things are great. The reason why I won't set up a wish list of physical items is because I am trying to control the amount of packages that come to my private mailbox, because there's a small mailbox company. And when I went there, it's just because I needed a place to send mail. And so I got the smallest, cheapest box I could get. And when packages started increasing, we had a chat about it. And she's been cool. But I still am cautious of packages that I don't know are coming ending up at the mailbox place. And when I order things for myself, as much as humanly possible, I either send things to an Amazon locker and I go pick it up at the locker, or I send things to a friend's house when I can. And when those two options don't work, or I can't order and have something shipped to the store and pick it up in a store, because I do that as well. I do that a lot, where I do a lot of ship to store. Like, I'll order something on the Home Depot website and have it shipped to the Home Depot store, and then I'll go to the Home Depot store and pick it up. Or, like, I've done that a lot with Target as well, because it's something that's not sold in the store, but it's sold on their website, and you can ship it to store. Now, when those things don't work out, then I send stuff to the mailbox. So it's a matter of controlling what's coming to the mailbox place, and trying to keep it from getting too out of control. As much as I appreciate the love, that's just something I have to look out for, so that I don't have to either change mailbox places or get a larger box, as it were, because that affects sort of my monthly bills and budget and everything. And also, like I said, in the next couple weeks, I am trying to get out of here. So then the only thing I really want to have to forward to myself out of town is paper mail, when it comes. I prefer that to be the situation. So there isn't anything huge that I need. The only thing I'm worried about is actually having enough gas money to go anywhere once I wrap up things in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, that's the status of the reason why I don't have a wish list. I thought about restoring it at one point, but I was like, honestly, there's not a lot that I'm like dying to have. My biggest things moving forward is like, food, gas, and and basic survival stuff. That was a long answer. I hope it's okay. I always feel like rude explaining this. Like, I'm not willing to pay for a larger mailbox. That was a long answer. Oh. Lindy and Lovey, this is back on the parking, when you're doing the city van life thing. Lindy and Lovey says, yes, I move 4 to 5 times a day. I go to same places at night. Street parking is always pretty much the same places. There's lots of spots. Yeah, a lot of it is just paying attention. And that's all. Like, when I'm driving, if I'm driving down the street where I'm like, that'd be a nice place to park later, sometimes I'll make a mental note of that if I'm in an area where I'm going to stay. Yeah. LA, I don't know if that's La or LA because you have a space. But the question is, hi, if it has not been asked yet, do you find it easy to find places to stay? Yes. I've never really struggled with it. And I wondered if moving into the box truck would change it much. And really, as long as I stay aware of height and length requirements, which I haven't run into that often, to be honest, and not being a place where it doesn't make sense. Like, when I was in the minivan, I would park in neighborhoods. It was a minivan. If it was the right kind of street where, it made sense, there were neighborhoods I would park in because I'd observed the neighborhood enough to know this is a place where cars casually park. You may not be directly in front of your own house. And it was okay. Now, I didn't exclusively park in neighborhoods, but it was something I tried. I haven't done that really in the box truck. I've been outside apartment complexes, like where there's street parking and there was enough room. And some of that is about the size of me feeling comfortable getting into a spot as much as less than I think the type of vehicle I'm in. I'm not doing any crazy parks between cars in a vehicle this size, and that's because of the size of the vehicle. It's not because of parking restrictions or fear of the knock or anything like that. So I've had to adjust in that way, but I'm still finding plenty of places to park. Like, it has not turned up the stress level at all. Yeah. Margaret Hassler talked about this a little bit earlier, but she asked about exercising, and you have always tried it. It was very motivating. And I tried for the longest time to juggle everything, and it fell apart. So, as I said earlier in the chat, what I'm focusing on now is getting to a place where I'm out of the storage unit. And when I'm out of that storage unit, I can start to get back to my routines. But there was a point where it's like I had to face that there was just too much going on. There was the show that I was stage managing. They was trying to build out the vehicle. They was trying to keep up with YouTube. There was a lot. And everything just kind of became too much. And I had to take a second. I had to step back. And I had to create sort of a situation that I could handle. And if that meant the only exercise I was getting was whatever work I was putting into building my home, that was going to have to be okay, because once the home was built, I would have the resources I was seeking in the first place, so I can do a better job with my exercise, and I can do a better job with my healthy eating. And if that meant I had to take a little punch to get there, I was going to take the punch and just recover. So that's been the status. If I can get things together in the next couple of weeks, I can like go hardcore back into like trying to get back into my routines again. But for quite a while now, they've been off, and I finally got to the point to get things done. I needed to take some of my gear out of the truck, and on top of that, I didn't have any time between the show and the build and the time I was still trying to make for YouTube and failing at it, to also, like, I don't know, get a gym membership or something. Like, there just wasn't enough hours in a day, and I finally, like, accept what you can do. Your energy right now is you need to build your house. You bought it to build it out. And I'm almost close to being able to redirect some of that energy. But I allowed myself to admit a limitation. And also the show was like really bad for like controlling food. Like, it felt like I was saying no to food all the time. People brought food to the theater and they meant well, and there were snacks around, and sometimes during the day I only had time to buy food between like wrapping up a build project and the storage unit. And to me, bought food is always harder to navigate than making my own food. I can be very, very healthy when I make my own food. And I know there are quote unquote healthy options out there, but whenever I had like that hour to grab something before I had to be, you know, at the theater to stay, you know, to run the show, it was never a good choice. Because I had to go with, in my brain, I knew I could get too quickly. And then it was just going back to those bad habits. So, like, I have a journey ahead of me to get back on track. That was a long. ESPN Me is replying to the August 9th date for U.S. citizens to travel into Canada. I'm scrolling. James Sherman, I'm going to read this. I parked at a mall that is no longer open. It is a huge parking lot with a lot of trees. It was daytime in the shade, and I was there a half hour, and security told me to leave. Private property. I'm sorry that happened to you, James. I think that's the problem, though. It was no longer open. Usually when I hang out in a mall during the day, I want it to be open, and I want enough vehicles that there's just people moving around and there's so much busy energy, things will get kind of ignored. But at the same time, enough open space that I can kind of go to some back corner of the lot. So I'm always looking for this balance between enough busy energy that nobody's paying too much attention, and enough space that I'm not squished between a whole bunch of people. And it's a tricky little game to play, but that's sort of what I usually look for, as well. Adventures with Lloyd Dog says, I had to do the same thing for insurance on my schoolie in Ontario, Canada, for anybody who needs info. So Adventures with Lloyd Dog, if you're looking for information on converting your Canadian schoolie, says they have info. James Sherman says, I like the ceiling. Looks nice. Thank you. Margaret Hassler says, can you give us a tour of all the work you have done? Honestly, I'd like to save that for a tour video. The quality on this video sucks, and I don't want to do a tour in a sucky format. And streaming quality isn't the best. So I'd rather save that for an actual video where I shoot the truck properly. Yeah, that's my answer. So what you see is what you get for now. Because there was a big project that happened this week, and it's behind the camera right now. Patreon has seen it. I've shown it to them. Not this week, last week, because it's Monday. So it happened last week, and it was one of the reasons my editing got delayed. But it needed to happen. But I want to give a tour in a proper format with a nice camera, and streaming quality is neither of those things. Yeah. Sherry Herbert Oliver is giving kudos to the moderator, saying, I do have awesome moderators. I agree. Ban Everything says hello from, I don't know how to pronounce that, Kahula, Lake Louisiana. I live in an old 1975 RV van from 2007 to 2013. Rock on. I'll be living in a fifth wheel travel trailer soon. That's quite the upgrade. I've been buying solar panels and power stations. Risa Farson says, Dawn, are you feeling okay now? Still standing, just a little stuffy. Take care of yourself. And Mickey, of course, you always do so well. I feel fine. Chanel Perez says, how's the climate where you are at? It's actually been really comfortable. Like, it hasn't been too hot or too cold. It's been that nice middle of the road weather where it's just kind of chill. And you're not like freezing, and you're not like sweating and wanting to rip off your own skin. So it's been good. Good evening, Sister Dawn says, I'm gonna mispronounce your name, Naeem. I'm going to stop there, Naeem. But good evening, Sister Dawn. Your ceiling is the same paneling I want to buy from Home Depot for my ProMaster. Good to see how it looks installed. First live, wholeness and essence of love, and a beautiful emoji. Yes, I love this stuff because it creates the illusion of wood without as much work because it's just a panel. And so like I needed 3 panels for the ceiling, and that was it. I was done. Which is what I need as like a person trying to knock out things in like a day. D. Huffman, thank you for the reminder that thumbs up does support the channel. I know a lot of people go, I can't join Patreon, I can't join YouTube memberships. Thumbs up matters. Being around for videos from beginning to end matters. There's all kinds of things that matter. Like, if the algorithm is pleased, I get to stick around on YouTube, and stay relevant, whatever the heck that means. I still feel very not relevant. Just when you look at sort of the people on YouTube who do very well, I don't look like those people. So a lot of times I'm surprised continuously that I'm still here and people still care. Yeah. Flybook says, how could that computer power issue be alleviated? I mean, a more energy efficient computer. Also, I think it's going to vary based on what kind of work you do. If you're just going to answer emails and browse the internet occasionally, you're probably not going to have the same power issue that I have having a laptop. There are more energy efficient laptops, but everything else, it's just going to cost you more money. Honestly, what I'm doing now works fine. But if I had to pinpoint the thing that is my biggest power problem, it is editing video on my laptop. Now, what I could do is go back to editing on my phone, but that's just not as good. The quality's not as good. What I can do with that is not as good. This is a terrible way to edit. I'm sorry. It's fast, but I would probably do less. I would use less clips. I would use less music, and that would make me sad, and I wouldn't enjoy doing video. So anything I would want to do with video requires a decent machine. So the answer is, the best way for me to solve my power problem is to become independently wealthy, which I'm not by any stretch of the imagination. I'm doing well. I'm surviving. Things are working out as much as they can work out. But the answer to most problems is more money would solve it. And I don't have the more money. So I have to be smart about when and where I'm using my laptop. In the middle of the day, when I know I'm getting sun, when I know, at least some solar is coming in to supplement my loss. Using a generator. I haven't given up on the generator. And to me, a generator is a cheaper solution to supplementing my power than trying to have a billion solar panels to solve it. Or a bunch of lithium batteries. So yeah. The honest answer is more money. That's what will solve my power problem. More money, better laptop, which costs more money, more solar, which costs more money, a huge bank of lithium batteries, which costs more money. That's my real answer. Catherine Deshays, thank you for the $20 super chat. Terry Hendricks asks, how is your weight journey going? Doesn't specifically say loss. As mentioned, I'm pretty sure I've gained some weight in the past month. And I don't want to phrase it like that. My specifically working on it is on pause until I move out of the storage unit. Because once I'm out of that storage unit, that means I am fully back in this as my home. I'm not bouncing between here and the storage unit. The big projects are done. And I'm in a place to start to have a life in my home again that has, what am I looking for? A routine to it. And I had to acknowledge the point where I didn't have that space. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks I can recover that space. Sparky's Cove said, do you think that you'll ever travel across the states in your van? I've done it once. I will do it again. I did it in my Chevy van. I went across the country to Maryland, and then I came back because of obligations. I had to come back a little faster than I went. But I stayed in Colorado. I stayed in Utah. I fell in love with Utah. That's where I shot actually the tour of my Chevy van. I shot it in Utah, and it's still one of my favorite videos that I've ever done. I found Metropolis, Illinois, which I didn't know existed. You know, I stumbled upon a little alien shop in Nevada. All of those videos are in my videos. So yeah, I totally want to travel more, period. I want to travel more in California. There's so much of California I haven't seen. I want to go outside of California. I want to go back to Canada because I didn't get to stay there even a whole day. Unfortunately, I had to, again, obligations. I had to turn around and come back. After I did it. But it was cool to cross the border for the first time. So there's a lot I want to do traveling wise once I'm sort of free of the storage unit. Like I said, I'm not leaving this area with an obligation to that storage unit. I need to be out of it in the next couple of weeks. Shay says, do you have a ladder to get into your bed? I demonstrated this in my last live chat, but basically, ow, my leg went to sleep. Ooh. So I have this one step that gets me up to the bed. And basically, I step on the freezer, I step on the fridge, I step on the step, I'm in the bed. So that's how I get in the bed. And I don't plan on building anything else because that works fine and it doesn't require any additional space. I get to use the fridge and freezer as a step up to the bed. And in the future, I would like to enclose the fridge and the freezer in a cabinet and not be stepping directly on them. But it's not a priority right now. It's just one of those things that doesn't affect the things I need to wrap up to get out of the storage unit. So it's something I really want. What I want is like a pull-out drawer and for the step to be here. Also, if the IceCo and the joists ever fail and I need to replace them, I've now lost my steps to the bed. If I have a cabinet that they're in, even if I get a replacement that's a different size but still fits in the same drawer, I can just replace those and I haven't lost my steps to the bed. But right now, the fridge and freezer themselves are just a part of how I get on the bed, which is fine. I don't feel a need to rush to change that. Anthony Brown, thank you for the $5 super chat, and says, when Apple comes out with the new M2 laptops, you should be able to pick up an Apple M1 for a steal, much more energy efficient. But is it energy efficient and a good editing laptop? Because that's the thing. Because even with Apple products, not all of them are good editing laptops. Like, you have to get a MacBook Pro to really be able to edit. It can't just be any Mac. They're just not, you need certain specs to be like a really fast, good editing machine. So they're like, I would love an Alien laptop. That is a Windows laptop. They're expensive, but they are a beast. And basically, if you can get a gaming laptop, it wouldn't be more energy efficient, but it would handle video faster than my current laptop. My current laptop is the minimum specs that I needed to be able to edit reasonably. So I don't know what an M1 and an M2 is, I'm going to be honest. But I know like anything beyond a MacBook Pro is not good for a lot of heavy editing as far as I know. I'm looking for... Dora Mathers says, Dawn, are you planning to do a fundraiser to get some lithium batteries for your rig? No, I would feel guilty about that. Because honestly, like, I got a free Jackery 1500. I mean, let's be honest about it. Now I got it for review. I got it due to my affiliation with Jackery as a company. And that's a lot of battery on its own. Like, that's not a cheap machine to get. And right now it's running the box truck. And if I was not on YouTube, and therefore I didn't have to worry about, you know, transferring footage, editing footage, all of that stuff, probably I'd be fine. I probably rarely use anything besides my cell phone. Like, whenever I watch TV, it's through a streaming service on my cell phone. I never watch TV proper. Does anybody watch real TV anymore? I don't even know if that's a thing. Especially in the generation of streaming services. Like, I know people have like boxes hooked up to actual TVs where they can watch like Netflix and Hulu and all that. But like, do people watch like proper TV local channels anymore? I don't know. That's a sideways question. So like, I still would feel guilty about it because at the end of the day, like, I do have like a rather large battery, so it's not like I don't have power. I just need to be smart about managing it. So I would feel weird being like, let me do a fundraiser for batteries when there's people out there who literally don't have anything, and I got a Jackery 1500 for free. Now, if I personally want to save up income, whatever way it's coming, to get lithium batteries in the future, that's understandable because I'm setting a stretch goal while I have something that works right now. But I would feel weird about setting a fundraiser when I have power I just need to manage as smart as I can, if that makes sense. Shay says, key to laptop uses, only do heavy work when charging, otherwise keep screen backlit at lowest setting and use battery power till almost dead. I get almost 2 days on my Asus laptop. Well, I can tell you, I get about an hour if I'm editing. If I'm not editing, well, I barely ever use a laptop when I'm not editing. And the problem is I have to plug it in and let it charge while I'm editing, or I will not get done. And I will, if I have a fully charged battery, I will run out of battery probably within an hour if I'm editing. Caveat, if I am editing. If I'm just checking email, that's not going to happen. If I am editing, I will run out of battery in less than an hour and need to be plugged in. So yeah, that's just the thing. Like, it's a high demand on the computer to edit and handle those files, and I don't know all of the technical jargon. I just know the laptop does not last as long on a full battery. The problem is I'm editing, so I can't reduce the screen because then I'm not seeing what the quality of the video is. So again, it all goes back to my laptop exists to edit, and so it needs to do all the things that's going to make editing, you know, a thing. And so, like, you know, if I can't see the screen properly, you know, I don't have full idea of like what's going on with the video, and I need to have the best idea of what's going on with the video as I'm editing it. So it's not really easy to reduce power usage for editing specifically. For just scrolling and browsing and like checking email and things like that, most of that I do on my phone, and that reduces having to use the laptop for those things. So yeah. Deborah on the Go says, hi, been enjoying your channel. Sorry, that was a really weird. Do you ever work in Florida? No, because I don't know anybody in Florida that's in theater. Tina's going to a bonfire, and you probably already left. But have a good time. Thank you for everything, Tina. Did that fan on the ceiling just turn on and off automatically? Yes, actually. There's a little green light. I don't know if you can see it, but you can't. Yes, you can. If you kind of look, you can see that there's... Let me see. Cameras are always weird. It's on the other side. Well, anyway, that is an auto feature. So if it gets too hot in here, it'll automatically turn itself on, which I really like, just on the off chance I'm not in here and it starts getting hot and Mickey needs it to cool down. It'll just turn itself on and turn itself off. So when I'm parked, I'll usually just leave that on, and it'll turn itself on and off. Layla Jean says, it looks like your van is coming together quite nicely. What's next on your build plans? I just finished up a wall that I'm not going to show in this video because I really want to save it. Unless you're on Patreon or YouTube memberships, then you've already seen it. So there's some finished work that needs to be done on that. It's little things. Like, for me, they're major, but they're little things. Like, I have a list somewhere that I made because I was like, okay, let me make a list. Whoop, ow, 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 ow. Ow. Let me see here. There's some lighting I need to add because I only have lighting on one side of the truck. And the only reason I'm look decently lit right now is because I'm backlit by the light that's behind me. So there's lighting that I still want to add. I need to do the trim at the top of the wall so that you can't see the wires right behind me. Back here, I need to build a battery box because right now the Jackery is just kind of janky and sitting up there at the bottom of my bed, but I want to build an actual battery box that is going to hold the Jackery and the power stations, and it's going to be at the foot of my bed. I still need to do my toilet. It's not done. I am going to have a dry / composting toilet. That project still is not done. I'm going to reveal what's going on with my shower situation. There is a plan, but I don't want to talk too much about it yet because I'd rather get into that in a separate video. I still need to hook up my heater, which is not hooked up because I have a plan, and I'm going to talk about that in a future video, so that still isn't in there. I need to do some electrics cleanup because a lot of stuff was wired temporarily because I needed electricity in here while I was living out of it, but now I can start to put in the final cleanups to the electricity. I need to get my bike back in here and set up the way that I want to store it. That's not set up yet, but having that wall built is a part of that process. Says I want to mount my extinguisher, but that's not really a big deal. Like, I could also do that after I move out the storage unit. The electric, I already did that. I should actually cross that off my list. But I basically have a little list down here of things I want to do. And a few of those things, I'd rather just do them and get them over with and then move out the storage unit and then get rid of the trash. I also need to run a lot of trash. There's a lot of, like, bags of trash and stacks of cardboard that's just from unpacking things and things I had shipped and things I bought. And I just could not get rid of them at the volume I was receiving them. So there's a bunch of trash I need to get out of the storage unit. And then there's stuff I either need to donate or sell really quickly. So yeah. Nothing that special. It's nothing that I'm like, oh my gosh, van life could really use this. Like, it's just stuff. Sparky's Cove said first aid kit and water. I don't even know what that's a reply to. Coralie says, what's up, girl? Long answers aren't bad. This is why we enjoy your lives. You have no reason to apologize for talking. I figured it out. All right, so we've hit the hour mark. So we're past the hour mark. We're at an hour and 13. So I'm going to scroll quick and see if there are any questions that I want to answer. So I love all your beautiful comments. But also I'm trying to regulate my time. Also, I need to upload a video. I finished editing it. I finished exporting it. Now I need to upload it. And that's going to take a while because of the internet connection. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up just looking for questions. Terry Newell says, I used to live in Milwaukee. You need a permit to park anywhere. How does that work? Because people have to go to stores and stuff. Which there's no way to regulate that. You can make it paid parking. I'm scrolling. Kelly B says all the projects look great. Really creative use of materials. James Sherman says, have you hit your head on the bed going in and out of the cab? Actually, no, because I expect to duck. Actually, I hit my head going out the back because sometimes I don't lift the roll-up door all the way up and I forget. And it's about 2 inches that I forget to duck, and that's where I always hit my head. But I already know, like, I have to go down so far that I'm already aware I need to stay low. So I've never hit my head going under there. And even coming in, I know that I need to get past the bed before I stand up. And so I'm already crouched down. And I don't even desire to go vertical until I'm all the way in here. So not really. I see all the props to the moderators, and I agree. Yay, I pronounced it right! Anna Corolla? I might be pronouncing that. Do you watch Cat Lady Van YouTube? I have not. Is her channel good? I've had her videos recommended, but honestly am trying to reduce my screen time a little bit. So that's why I haven't watched them. But if she's recommended, I'll check out a couple of her videos. I've been asked about my weight loss goals a few times. I've answered that question like 3 times. So I'm going to say, just because I'm trying to wrap things up here, feel free to rewatch the video once it's on replay. Indigo says, girl, you making me hot seeing that plastic on your mattress. Is it too hot? No, because I'm not sleeping on the mattress. I'm sleeping in my sleeping bag and on these blankets. So I'm never on the plastic. The plastic is there because I want to protect the mattress until I'm past the point where I feel like it won't get destroyed. Right now, I still have construction going on in here. I don't want wood shavings in it. I don't want metal shavings in it. And I don't want paint on it. I have paint that's hit the mattress. And it's only on the plastic. So the only thing that's going to be messed up by those things is this plastic. When I am ready, the plastic will go off and actual bed sheets will go on the bed. I do have bed sheets. I have real bedding, but it is not going on the bed until I feel like I'm at a point where I'm not going to be doing the type of construction in here that'll mess up the mattress. And I don't feel past that point yet. So until then, plastic staying on, and I sleep in the sleeping bag. So I'm not sleeping on the plastic really. I mean, it's noisy if that bothers you, and it doesn't bother me. Did it pop back? I feel like I'm seeing stuff I already saw before. Coralie asked me about how good is it having a freezer now? Are you loving it? I love it because I have... Wait a minute. Gotta move some stuff out of the way. There. Knocking stuff down. By the way, the Blue Eddy is doing better. So I've been using it off and on since I reset it, and it's been doing better. So I'm back to being happy with it. But anyway. Ow! Table. This is the best thing about the freezer. And what I love about Otter Pops is really it's mostly frozen water with just a little bit of syrup. And like one of these is only like about 80 calories. No, it's not the healthiest thing in the world, but when it's hot, I can just grab an Otter Pop and it's great. After I hit my head and stuff. Idiot. Alright, I'm going to pick up this. Let's check on Mickey. I see his ears. Alright, we're good. Let's see. Shoot. Can't see him. There he is. Dude, what's up? You just being all quiet. Hi, baby. You can't really see through. Hi, baby. So back here is where I need to build a battery box that's not built yet. And it's so that this isn't just shoved back here behind the mattress. It's not good. All right. Where was I? Okay, I was just running my mouth. And why did I do that? Curious Dawn, do you feel like your social blade is correct? So many disagree. I have no idea what my social blade says, so I don't know how to agree or disagree with it. I know what social blade is. Someone showed it to me, but I don't know what it says currently to agree or disagree with it. Extraordinaire says I haven't watched live TV in 10 plus years. A lot of answers about the TV question I threw out there earlier. Oh my gosh. Ethy Brown, thank you for the $5 super chat. Apple outperforms last year. $5,000 Apple laptop only costs $999. That's a lot of money that I don't have. Many pro YouTube editors tried and now solely use an M1 at least till M2 comes out. I don't know what an M1 and M2 are, but also I think an Alienware laptop is less than $1,000 and those things are a beast. Patty Doss says, just a thought, can you plug in at Starbucks to do your editing? Right now, there is no guarantee that a Starbucks even allows indoor seating, and a lot of them are blocking their plugs. So it would give you access to internet, but not necessarily power, depending on what Starbucks you're at and where you're at. Right now, a lot of California Starbucks are still like buy your drink and leave. And even if they're not, there's no guarantee there's anywhere to plug in there. I mean, the library, just to generally answer this, the library and Starbucks are options when they're nearby and convenient. And right now, they're not. It's easier for me right now not to go too far from the storage unit. And so I have my spots that I hit, and it's easier for me to just edit when the sun's up. Also, if I go out to BLM land, I'd still like to be able to edit. And I'm not going to leave BLM land to get to a Starbucks or a library. So yes, those are options when you're near them, but you still need a plan for all the times you might not be near them. So that's the way it goes. Also, yes, I agree with D. Huffman. It says, yes, but who wants to be locked in there? It can take hours to edit one video. Exactly. I did used to stay in Panera. Panera used to be my spot. And they would never make me leave. And I'd get like a cup of tea, take out my laptop. I'm more successful at finding a place to plug in as well as internet at Panera. Like, honestly, I've had better luck at Panera as far as like a coffee shop, which isn't really a coffee shop, than anywhere else. More so than Starbucks. I have been in so many Starbucks where they've blocked off their plugs because of people coming in there and using their plugs and their internet and staying there all day. And Panera didn't seem to care as much when I did it. And the library is an option, but the library can also be a pain. And then it's the whole, like, You have to, if you don't know the library, then you have to walk around the library looking for a place to plug in. You have to figure out how you can use their internet. It's a whole thing. Like I said, it's an option when it's there, but it's not something I would ever depend on to moderate my computer use on a daily basis. And now I have Mickey, so I'd rather just be in the van if it's going to take me like 8 to 9 hours to edit a video. I don't know why I'm just sitting here on my bed. Corey Flowers says, glad to see you are doing well. What would your dream job be? I don't know if I have one anymore. It used to be being a stage manager, like a professional one who, you know, was in the union. God, this is going on for an hour and a half. I said I was about to wrap up. But I don't know that I have one anymore. I just want to be happy and travel and bring in income in a way that doesn't drive me crazy. That's all. So yeah. I'm scrolling fast. I'm scrolling. Why is he in the backpack? He likes being in there. Sorry, JKX, why is Mickey in the backpack? Literally, it's open. He can leave. Wait a minute. There's a hole right here. He crawled in there on his own. He sleeps in there all the time. He likes it. That's why I just leave it up here. He just crawls in there and goes to sleep. Marie says, you're lucky Mickey will use the bed with plastic on it. My boy Jake took 9 months to lay on the bed after I got a new mattress, no plastic on it, just a protector liner. He hates walking on it. Well, Mickey's mostly walking on the blankets. He's not really walking on the plastic. I don't think he even realizes it's down there. JK says, okay, I know you didn't lock him in there. It's just so fun seeing him in there. All right. So I've been scrolling pretty fast. I'm sorry if I missed anything, but we are almost at an hour and a half. So I'm going to say bye-bye. Because I planned to wrap up like a half hour ago. I will see you guys, in the next video. Whenever that is. Yeah. All right. Have a good night. Thank you for logging on. This is always fun. And I'm trying to keep up with doing it once a week. So, yeah. You guys are awesome. And I will see you all soon.